here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. This has been a long time coming. The gentleman you are about to meet was on a similar show that I did with a business partner. Oh my gosh, probably somewhere around 15 years ago, long time ago, 14, 15, somewhere around there. And it's been a long time since we have reconvened, come back and gotten him on another episode. And in the interim, I've had him on my signature event, which was called Reach Your Peak Summit several years back. He was a guest speaker there. This gentleman is someone you are definitely going to want to take notes on. His name is John Limbacher. He's become a great friend. I've been to his house. I've eaten shark in his backyard, beautiful paradise jungle there. He's an avid fisherman. He has a great lifestyle, has a boat out on Newport, an amazing man. And I'm very humbled to be able to call him my friend and to be able to work with him yet again. We've kind of rejoined and just enjoying every moment of it. Real quick, the Mind Body Business Show. It is a show that I had developed with you in mind, and that is the entrepreneur, the small business person, even the big business person. What I found is it really doesn't matter where you are in your journey. I guarantee you will learn something that will help you to catapult your business to the next level on this and every single show that we do. Been running it for a little over 5 years now, and I know this is true from the feedback I get from the viewers and from the guests themselves. It's been pretty awesome. And this show is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. These came about as a result of my focusing on successful people for a good decade or so. I started really picking out the parameters, the attributes of very successful people and trying to determine what was the recipe they had built for themselves that made them so darn successful, more successful than, say, someone like yours truly. And the cool thing was, these 3 things that kept bubbling to the top over and over and over, the common traits, are part of the very namesake of this show. And it's about mind, which is mindset, which means powerful, positive, and most importantly, flexible mindset. That's what each of these individuals had. They also took care of their bodies nutritionally. They would exercise on a regular basis. We're not talking about becoming a bodybuilder or a model if you're female, nothing like that. We're talking about just maintenance and taking care of oneself to keep operating at a high level. And then business is so multifaceted. What these individuals had done was they had figured it out. They had mastered the various skill sets that are necessary for one to create, build, and then grow, which means scale a thriving business. Skill sets like sales, marketing, team building, lead generation. We're going to talk about tonight. This is going to be a great show. You do not want to go anywhere. Leadership, systematizing. I could go on for quite a while. And the good thing is you don't have to master every single skill set yourself, because you can do something that's very magical. In the world of entrepreneurship and business, it's just this word called leverage. You can leverage all of these talents by first mastering just one of the skill sets I mentioned. You don't even have to you don't have to completely master it. You could be on the path, on the journey to mastering it, and you can then start using it to leverage and pull in people who already have mastered those other skill sets that you have yet to, and quite frankly, may never master yourself, because mastery takes a long time. And that one skill set, if you're wondering, if you're curious, just let me know, put it in the chat. I'll wait. I'm kidding. I'll tell you. That one skill set is the skill set of leadership. That's right. Even if you don't have a team right now, a whole different topic for a whole nother day, but you can literally teach yourself how to become an effective leader without a single employee or VA in your house. We'll talk about that some other time, because I'm excited. I cannot wait to bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself. You're going to be blown away by John. He is an amazing guy. Real quick, we're going to segue into a little segment that is also related to very successful people, and that is, to a person, they are also very avid readers of books. And so real quickly, I want to segue into a little segment I affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
Yes, there you see it, ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. Do yourself a favor, not me. Do yourself a favor and write this resource down instead of clicking away and checking it out especially while John Limbacher is on screen talking. You do not want to miss a single word this man has to say. Believe me, trust me on this one. And so write these resources down. John will have some. We're going to have a great time. You're going to learn something that has been missing in business since I have been a business person until today. Well, not literally today, but not long ago. It just became something that we all have access to. You do not want to miss this. I kid you not. Reach Your Peak Library is a library, literally a library of books. And this came about due to the fact that I personally did not start reading voraciously until about 12 years ago, age of 47. I know, I'll give you a second to do the math. Everybody wants to know. Yes, age of 47, 12 years ago, began reading, and wow, what a light bulb that went off in my head when I started doing that. And so with each book that I read, that I personally vetted, that had a profound impact on me, either in my business life or my personal life, and most often it was both because they are highly relatable, then I had this book, that next book, put on this website by my team. And so this is a collection of books that really have no rhyme or reason. You can see I read a bunch of Grant Cardone all in one sitting. I just went one after the other, but they're not alphabetic. They're not any reason for the order that they're here. Just find the one that leaps off the page and grabs you and says, read me, and go get it wherever you want to get it. You don't need to get it on this website. You can get it at your Barnes & Noble or wherever you love to get your books. There is a buy here button for everything. It goes to Amazon. So just get the book. It's here because I did this for you, so you could have a resource to go to. And these are not every book I've ever read since age 47. They are only the ones that had that profound impact on me, so that your odds of not wasting your time are then increased in your favor. So that is the reason for that. I'm so excited. I am done yakking. It's time to bring on the amazing and incredible John Limbacher. Let's get to it.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
Yes, and there he is, ladies and gentlemen. It is the one, it is the only John Limbacher.
Yes. Happy to be here. How's it going?
It couldn't be going much better, in all honesty, because you are now in the house. John Limbacher's in the house, everybody. Give him some claps and loves and all that good stuff.
It's been John, a long time since we did this.
I'm telling you, you had the date down. What'd you say, 2010, something like that?
I think it was about 2010. Yeah, something like that.
Right. It's been a while. We've kind of passed a few times since then, so it wasn't like we were completely avoiding each other. I hope you weren't avoiding me. There's plenty of reasons to, I'm sure, but
no, nothing like that.
So I'm gonna kind of introduce you here real quick, John. I want to tell a quick story how we met, because I love telling this story and everything that went around it. It was really interesting. So John is the founder of a company called Internet Dominators. I love that name right off the bat. He's a marketing strategist, international speaker, and an SEO authority, search engine optimization. And let me just interject. He is an SEO guru, the one that the SEO experts turn to for advice. I just want that to sit into everybody right now. And SEO, ladies and gentlemen, it ain't easy. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of work, and you have to be on it all the time. You're looking at the guy right here. This is the guy when it comes to SEO. John has been cracking search engine codes and getting top listings for his clients since the mid-90s. He is a sought-after speaker, making numerous worldwide guest appearances. He was on mine once, demystifying how the search engines really work and how to beat them. Most recently, John created the ACT marketing protocol. We'll get into that a little bit during the show. It reveals the most powerful secrets that ad agencies have been using for their deep pocket clients for over 100 years. Now, even the smallest businesses can easily achieve the massive results they desire and deserve. Man, and this man knows how to write a bio. Let me tell you, that is a very powerful one. Thank you, John. And you made my job easy on top of that. So thank you for that as well. Woo. So John, you and I met about that time. It was almost 14 years ago, right around there. I don't remember exact. I'm terrible at dates, but here's the deal. We were both at an event, a networking event. I won't name names or anything like that, but my business partner at the time and I were sitting in the back row. So it was I think it was a Chevron style. I don't remember. Lots of tables in the back. And there were probably 300 to 500 people in attendance.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. And we were sitting in the back row because we were helping in the event. We would help the main speaker run stuff up to the stage, things like that, just having a blast. So we sat in the back rows. Well, the thing had kind of started. This is how I recall it, John. You can correct me later. And there were spare seats to my right. And I just remember seeing out of the corner of my eyes, somebody walking in. Here comes this dude. And I'm like looking at him. And this is back when people kind of dressed nice on purpose or more often. You know, like business casual was almost not dressy enough back then. And so I look back and here comes this guy wearing flip-flops and shorts. And I think like a Hawaiian short sleeve shirt or something like that. And I'm thinking, who is this disrespectful SOB in my head? I'm like, what the heck? And then he sat down and just had this like glued on smile. It just wouldn't stop. I'm like, interesting dude, but what the heck is going on here? Well, we had a lunch break at one point. We literally walked down 2 or 3 doors to Subway. This was near LAX on Century Boulevard. And I'll never forget. So I'm in line with my business partner and there is this disrespectful dude right in front of us. And I'm thinking, oh man, I wonder how this is going to go. And so he turns around and says hi with that smile that just never leaves, like the one you see right now. And I instantly fell in love with this guy. And this guy is John Limbacher. And everything I said says so much about him because he has a lifestyle that was by his own design. He wasn't being disrespectful. He was being himself. He was already incredibly successful in the internet marketing arena with SEO. I remember you had a car with internet dominators pasted on the side. Was it a Mustang? It was something kind of sporty, if I recall.
Yeah, it was the Black Pearl Mustang.
Yes.
1-200.
Yes. And so that was the beginning of where we are now. And it's been quite a wonderful ride. And I've enjoyed the few times we've gotten to get together. And thank you for inviting us over to your house. And we ate some shark in your backyard that you guys caught. It's just been wonderful. And there's an amazing, huge, massive announcement that I want you to be able to give, John, because you're the one that came through. What did you say on Thanksgiving? Around Thanksgiving, there was a webinar. You dropped a bomb on everyone in attendance. Can you recall? I know you know what it is, but I'm just playing with you. Can you recall what it is you said? You stated to everybody after 25 years in the industry. What did you tell us?
I basically announced that I was leaving or retiring or stepping down. I don't know how quite that I said it, but basically I was shutting the doors on my SEO business. And people just about flipped out. Because like you said, I started in SEO in 95. And back then, SEO wasn't even a thing. We didn't even know what to call it. I just knew what I was doing was very, very profitable for big businesses. And the way I sold SEO back then, because we didn't have a name for it, I would go into a company and I'd say, look, here's this website thing that you've got that you don't really know what it is yet. And I said, and it's electronic brochure. And you would never pay to have a brochure made and leave it in a box under your desk. So that's about what you've done here. I said, for you to make money with that brochure, you have to take it out of the box and put it in the hands of the right people. And I can do that for you on the internet. And that's how I described what I was going to do for them. And like I said, we didn't have anything to call it. So that's how I sold it. And it went over big. And in the first, I think it was less than 10 years, my first 10 years in doing that, I attributed to over $100 million in online sales. And you're talking back when nobody was selling online. I was already selling because I was driving the search traffic that was highly profitable. So for me to step down out of that after all these years, it was kind of a shocker to a lot of people.
Yeah, me personally, I'm like, I was waiting for the punchline, and I'm thinking, please don't tell me, John, that you're dying, because you would not stop at something that was this kind of a gravy train. I'm like, and you had me leaning in. It was a masterful. I know it wasn't a performance, but it sure as heck became one, because I was not letting go. I was not turning off. I was not walking away. I was going to listen to that whole daggone webinar. And you just said something.
Planned.
What's that?
It was pretty planned out. Yeah.
He did a great job. And that's the other thing. You just laid out literally how people today should describe SEO. That's one of your wonderful talents I've noticed over the years, is you have this incredible knack at simplifying the message that makes it so easy for someone to say yes, because they can understand it. SEO, for someone who's never, even if they've heard of it, I know what that stands for: search engine optimization. But I don't know anything beyond that. So what is it, right? And you just said exactly without having to say what it was. And so I appreciate that about you. And you teach all of us in your ACT program things like that: how to simplify the message, how to market, how to get your make sure your product is something you can convert before you start throwing a ton of leads at it, all this stuff, because you've been through it just a few times yourself. Because it's so super easy. You've never had to worry about it or test it this whole time, right? It's just been something that came to you naturally. You didn't have to work hard ever, right? I know I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, I never had to work hard at that at all.
And that's the other thing I love about you, is you stay true to your lifestyle, and it's your lifestyle. You go, you march the beat of your own drum, and that's what I'm saying everyone should do. The thing is, though, to get to where you are, you did go through some stints of working your ever-living butt off to get there, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've always been about hard work for a short period of time to set yourself up to glide.
There you go.
And I have no problem working my butt off to get to that point. And I've just gotten so good at it over the years that I just feel like now nothing feels like work anymore. It's just constant glide.
And I mean, I hope everyone's listening to this and not just listening on the surface at what John's saying. He's giving you the recipe for success in life. And that is, if you truly love what you do, because right now, John, you're working pretty damn hard on this new thing we're going to reveal here in a little bit, but you're also loving every minute of it because it's in your wheelhouse. It's going to make a lot of people a lot of money finally, especially those who've been struggling. It's going to simplify your life even more. And so it's ecological. It's a win-win-win for everyone. And you're just enjoying the ride. And that's the beautiful thing about it is, how many of us would do this even if money weren't necessary? I mean, I probably would do some of this just because I love what I get to do and I love helping people. And you seem to have that kind of heart too. And making money is obviously important. I don't want to skirt past that, but it's just, if you love what you do, then it's not work. Even when you are working, you're ever living butt off.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've always looked at it as, if I can position what I'm selling as it to make money for someone else, and I'm just providing it for them, I can build an army of people that give me a little bit of money for that opportunity and that privilege. And that's what you want. You want an army. You don't want to make a little bit of money. You want to make a little bit of money from each of your army. Yeah. And then at that point, they're all driving the train. You've just orchestrated the train, and they're going to drive it for you. And that's what I'm doing now, is just setting up a whole new train, whole new system, whole new rails are going down.
Yeah, and that coal is shoveling into that engine faster and faster. Every day that passes, it's running harder and faster and farther. It's getting better, and enjoying that journey with you. And yeah, we're being very coy here, aren't we? But there's other things that I truly admire and appreciate about you, John, and that is you have never been one that came off to me as a money monger. You've never been looking for the quick kill or even the markup to make more of a profit off of a sale. You've always had this mentality of keeping the price very, very low for everyone, and just you knowing you could get the volume to take care of any profit margin you needed. But the other thing that you are also very good at is helping people. That is also something I really admire. I mean, just what was it, 2 weeks ago, you carved out an hour and we chatted. And I'm thinking, man, I'm sure he's got other stuff he wants to do, but as long as he's going to keep talking, I'm going to stay with him, because I'm not letting go of somebody like this. But I appreciate you for so many things, John. You've always had this great integrity about you. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. And I think everyone here listening, I'm saying all this on purpose, giving you the tools to model after. This is the guy you want to model. If you're going to find one person to model, to basically copy, that's a fancy word for copy, but we grew up thinking copying was cheating and you're not supposed to do it. So we turned it into model, and it's fine. John doesn't mind. He wants you to copy him. He wants you to model him. He wants you to be successful, and he can help you in that regard. So,
I actually modeled to get where I am. Like, you'd mentioned, I never seemed to be greedy. I always seemed to be very reasonably priced and all that. And that actually came off of a model of a very successful older gentleman that I used to hang out with. And I was really, really in awe of his business success. And one day I came into his shop and I was all excited because I got a big customer, and I was bragging. I said, man, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to make so much money on this customer. I won't have to do anything else. And he sat me down and he said, that's not the way you want to think.
Ooh.
He said, as soon as you go into that mindset, he says, you're putting yourself in jeopardy. Mm. And I said, how so? It's like, I just bagged an elephant. I'm on top of the world. And he said, do you think of your customers as appendages? And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And he said, well, you've got 10 fingers and 10 toes. Those are appendages. He said, if you lose one, let's say you lose a finger, it's going to hurt. But tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up and you're going to be okay. Life's not going to change all too much. But he said, you only have 2 arms. If you lose an arm, it's going to do more than hurt. It's going to change your life forever. He said, you only have 1 head. You lose that, it's game over. But he said, and then you got a lot of hair on your head. If you lose a follicle of hair, you're not even going to feel it. So he said, you should be more focused on how many customers you can get, not how big of one you can get.
Mm.
And that changed everything for me. So it was great having that big win, but that mind shift changed the way I moved forward. And, I kept that. I still have that big customer today, because every customer I bring into the fold, I make it my job to keep them for life. There should be no reason that they ever leave me. And this is a really funny, I don't know if it's funny, but it's an interesting story. One time about 10 years ago, I brought on a salesperson. For the first time, I thought, hey, let's grow the business. Let's bring a salesperson in. Never done that before. And the first thing they wanted to do was they said, well, the first thing we're going to do to grow your business is we're going to look at your past clients. We're going to see how many we can bring back. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So we open up my books and we're looking down my client list. And this is no joke. Everyone that we came to that was no longer a client was dead.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's not really funny that they're dead, but it was a very interesting, eye-opening thing to find out. Like, wow. And they couldn't believe it. They'd never seen anything like it. There was like maybe 1 or 2, and they were gone for specific reasons where they found a better solution, and there's no reason for them to come back on that, So very interesting though.
That's another great lesson for everyone, me included, is to, put everything you've got into retaining your customers. How much of that, how much upfront though, John, do you do any like pre-vetting of customers? In other words, do you turn
yeah.
any away to say, look, I don't think you're ready for what I've got. It'll end up being more of a pain for both of us if I allow you to spend money with me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have a vetting process because that, you know how that is. You get a bad customer, that's like a cancer to your company.
Yeah. In fact, in the SEO space, I turned away more people than I brought on.
Mm,
I turned away probably 90%.
wow.
And you know, that group that you were talking about that we actually met at?
Yeah.
The program that I have today that I sell called the ACT program, I created the program for that group because I entered that group basically to help with SEO. The guy running the group, he said, hey, come in. All my people need SEO. And I'm like, great. That sounds like a perfect match for me. So he put me on stage in my shorts and flip-flops, by the way. And I talked about SEO. I told the crowd how it worked, what it could do for your business, and they all wanted it. So I got all these people coming up wanting to be my customers. And I had a couple of qualifying questions for them, and nobody could answer my qualifying questions. So out of a group of like 500 people, I took on one as a customer because he could answer my questions. And I mean, literally one out of 500. And that told me these people need help. They want what I've got, but they're not ready for it. And I'm not going to take them on as a client unless I can come through for them. So the ACT marketing protocol was a bridge. It was a bridge to get them from where they were up to the point where I could actually help them. And, you know, like Brian had said, it is the roadmap. It's like the blueprint that ad agencies use, and they've been using it successfully for over 100 years. And it is such a simple thing. And when I say simple, it is. There's nothing difficult about it. But here's the thing. It's very hard to implement. Mm-hmm. Even though it's such a simple thing, it's very hard for people to implement it. But here's how it works. It's called ACT, A-C-T, and it goes just like this. It's analysis, that's the A. You have to understand your market. You have to get in and you got to figure out who they are, what they want, and why they want it. If you don't do that, you're building your business on sand. It's a house of cards, and it's going to blow down really quickly. And when you move into the C, that's creating messaging. You have to create messaging that conveys your value to that marketplace, to those avatars, those individual buyers. If you don't do that, you're not going to be very effective. You've got to be able to convert those into customers. And the T, that's traffic. So you have analysis, creation, and traffic. And SEO is in the traffic bucket. The other thing we're going to talk about today is in the traffic bucket too. So I want you guys to know you cannot dive into traffic first. It will not work and your business will fail. I've never seen a case in my entire career where you could dive into traffic and not have your messaging right, and not have your messaging right to the audience. It falls back to this, goes in perfect line. And all the ad agencies do this, and every business I've ever seen be successful followed this recipe, whether they knew it or not. Some of them just got lucky. There are people in business that just get lucky. But here's the thing, when they go and try and replicate it, they can't because they don't know why it worked in the first place. This protocol, the ACT marketing protocol, analysis, creation, and traffic, is why it makes your business work. So if you're struggling, I can guarantee you are outside this protocol. And if you want to fix it, all you have to do is apply this. Like I said, it's super simple, but it could be hard to implement because you got to do it right. You got to follow the rules. So, you know, Forbes magazine put an article out about business failure. And I think it was 82% of businesses fail in the first 18 months, right? That's a whopping number. And you go to a business guru like Tony Robbins, he's going to tell you it's even worse. He's going to tell you 96% will fail if you give them enough time. My God, think about that. If you're going to fail, do you want to take more than 18 months? If he says 10 years, he said business owners will struggle and fight for 10 years before they finally give up. Like, that's unfixable. If you fail, it's no big deal. You get back up, you dust yourself off, and you try again. But after 10 years, you're going to be broken. You won't only be broke, you'll be broken. I can fix the broke part. It's easy to make money. But the broken part, that's hard to mend.
Yeah.
So with this protocol, you could literally look at a business idea and you can fail it in about 30 seconds. Instead of spending 18 months and a bunch of money, you could look at it through these goggles and know if it's got a chance in about 30 seconds. So I fail fast and get on to the next thing. I fail a lot, but I fail fast.
I love it. And for our podcast audio listening only friends, the website you'll want to go to, and this show is not about just selling things. It is about when I, the host, find something that I know is compelling, then I like to share it with everyone. John didn't ask me to do this. This is all me doing this. You want to go to internetdominators.com. And if you scroll down that page a little bit, you'll see what he's talking about. And it's ACT, A-C-T. And I've got it on the screen now, even though if you're listening, you can't see it. But it says ACT Marketing Protocol, and there's a button that says Get ACT Now. Just click on that, and that will take you to the details. And just like everything John does, it's very affordable. It's like less than $500 to start. And then, what was it, $29.97 a month or something ridiculously low?
Yeah.
That's the part that blew me away. There it is, $29.97 a month.
Yeah, I tell people when you buy one of my programs, the thing that's different is you get to take me home with you.
It's true.
So I do these open calls every Thursday for the people that are going through this program. And I've been doing that for over a decade. I've been showing up every Thursday. Every step of the way, I'm there to help them. I never give up. I'm there as long as you want me.
And I've been on those calls. I recently joined, which I don't know what took me so long. I remember you first unveiled this, or at least it was a fairly new concept when you came and guest spoke at my event. I remember it was one of the first times you presented it, and I was like, "Wow, this is different." I don't remember John ever doing something like this. It was all SEO all the time. Yeah. And so you have been doing it a while. I can attest to that. And I can also attest to the fact that you stay on those those calls too long, my friend, because you don't let it's who's got a question, I'll answer it. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. On occasion, it might be, all right, I think we should wrap this up. But by then, I think you have a good feel that the questions are kind of exhausting themselves, that they're not, so fruitful for everybody anymore. So after doing so many of them, but yeah, you start off, you always give some great value in the beginning, and then you open it up to Q&A, and you literally take questions about anything business related. And so I will be one to say I highly recommend anyone watching this or listening to this take advantage of this. You can see the way John looks right now. Now, if you're not on here live, if you're not watching this video, then the next question is why not? Well, that's because it's probably my fault for not getting you to the right page. But go to the Mind Body Business Show, themindbodybusinessshow.com, and click on any button you see in there. They all say where and when to watch. You click it, it'll drop you down to an opt-in form. You're going to get a free hotel discount card. I forget what it's worth, 100 or 200 or 300. I forget. Give a lot of them away just for opting in. And all we're going to do is announce when we go live, who it's going to be, with the link to come join us at that moment. Nothing for sale. It's all to just bring you to see someone like John the next time we go live. So be sure to do that so you can get it and you can engage with us, comment. Love to see comments. Anyone has questions out there, ask us a question. We got quite a few viewers on tonight. I love it. It was perfect timing, John. And so we've been teasing about this topic a little bit, dancing around it. It's actually the T. It's the traffic in the ACT program that John's been talking about. And there's a little story behind this where I will never forget. Back about the time John and I met, a little bit prior to that, I was at another networking event where there were these internet marketers that were very successful. And back then there was no social media. There was list building. Email was about it. And then they would talk about websites. And they always talked about this concept called split testing, where you have, we call them landing pages today. So I'll go with that. You have a landing page, but you want to make multiple versions of that landing page, at least 2. And on each one, change certain elements, like literally the button colors, literally the price point from $4.99 to $4.97. Try both of them, see which one hits. The headlines, the fonts, the font color, the boldness, all of this stuff. The backgrounds, colors, all this stuff. And I just wanted to raise my hand in the back and go, this is fantastic stuff, and we can figure out which one converts the best. But the issue, everyone in this room, and I could speak for everyone in the room, is how do we first get people to see our website? How do we get the traffic? And they could never answer the question, except they would say, get a joint venture partner, which meant, go find a John Limbacher and someone like you don't know, and, somehow become his friend enough to where he will say, yeah, I'll share my list with you. It doesn't happen. They gave you the what, not the how. And it was so frustrating. For all those years, there was no solution until paid ads came on, and Facebook and Facebook ads and Google ads were before that, and all that. Paid ads became the only way to do it. And then there was SEO, John's thing. That's what he did. He brought millions of dollars to companies using organic search based on his hard work, getting their pages ranked high on searches. So then John came up with that blockbuster announcement. He's quitting SEO. That's where we kind of left that dangling carrot, that open loop. Yes, we did. And now, John, if you wouldn't mind, you have found the solution to traffic for everybody. I mean, everybody. And it's the most exciting thing I've ever come across. And this was back around Thanksgiving when you announced it. And I said, oh yeah, I'm all over this one. What are we talking about here, John? What does this thing do? Give us the lowdown.
So I was always really enthralled with search, because search traffic is, I don't know if you guys realize this, search traffic is the best, most converting traffic that there is of all ad sources ever. And it's because it's in-flow marketing. Every other form of advertising is disruptive. You're trying to grab their attention before they're interested. So with search traffic, they're already interested. They're hunting. They're looking for what you have to offer. And that's why it converts so well. The problem is SEO, search engine optimization. It takes all this hard work to get your website up to the top. And it was a lot easier 10, 15, 20 years ago than it is today, because of all the competition and all the people that are in the marketplace fighting for that traffic. It's like a bloodbath. It's like you're swimming with sharks trying to get SEO traffic anymore. So AI came about, and I got really enthralled with AI. And I'm like, how can we use this? How can we use this to generate traffic for our sites? And I was able to figure out how to couple search optimization with AI to get what we wanted. Because here's the deal. Nobody wants SEO. They want what SEO does. SEO brings the traffic, and they still don't even want that, really. What they want is they want the leads. They want the leads to turn into customers. They already know how to talk to their customers. If they don't have any leads, they have no one to talk to, so they don't get customers. So it's really the leads. So using AI, we were able to harness a technology and create a tech stack that could actually monitor search all across the internet and tell us, the AI could tell us who was running these search phrases. So literally, if you've got a search phrase that you want to rank in Google or Yahoo or Bing or any of these, we can tell you who's looking for those terms without going to those search engines. We can tell you not only who's looking for the terms, we can tell you how interested they are. by how many pieces of content they looked at that were relevant. So we created this system to monitor the traffic for our customers. We look for 2 pieces of relevant content. So when somebody goes onto a secondary search box on the internet, we start following them. We look to see what they're looking at. When they look at 2 pieces of related content, we say that's an in-market lead. And we grab them, take them over to a big data source, and we purchase their contact information and pipe that right to our customers in real time. How much better than SEO is that? Because SEO, you still don't know who they are. Here, I'm giving you the actual lead. And in paid traffic, a lot of people that couldn't get SEO, they went to pay-per-click. And they were paying like $5, $6, $7, even upwards of $100 for a click. The click is not the lead.
Nope.
The click is a click. Somebody just clicked. They didn't opt in. They didn't buy your stuff. They clicked, they looked at your site, and they probably left. And you paid for that. And you got nothing to show for it. With SEO, you pay in blood, sweat, and tears, and time, and effort, and all this stuff. Same thing. They come to your site, and they leave. You got nothing to show for it. Using AI, we can actually tell you who it is that's looking for you, even though they've never even been to your site. We can give you their email while they're looking for you. And you can shoot an email right into their email box. It's like mind reading. It's like they're looking for something. Bing, little bell goes off. Email pops up. Hey, if you're looking for XYZ, you might want to consider this. You're making it easy for them. So it's a really cool system that we put together. And when Brian saw what I was doing, he's like, oh my God. He goes, that belongs under my brand as Peak Prospector. So you guys have access to that system to grab these leads right out of search all across the internet. Now, I said secondary search box. Most people are like, what is that? What's a secondary search box? All these websites across the internet, a lot of them have search boxes on them. Like, I'll use the example, if you're a realtor, there is a site out there called Zillow. Maybe you've heard of it. There's another one called realtor.com. There's another one called Redfin. There's a whole bunch of sites dedicated to real estate, and they all have search boxes on them. So those companies, those big companies, spend millions and millions of dollars to get people onto those websites to use their search. So when your prospects go onto those websites and start running a search for one of your keywords, we're going to be able to tell you who they are and how to contact them in real time. That's pretty powerful stuff. If you haven't pieced that together, you might want to like chew on that for a little bit and just kind of get comfortable with that idea, because it exists. It's not like some future thing. You know, we're not talking about the Jetsons here. It's today. It's not coming. It's here. That technology, we've harnessed it, and it's available to everybody. It's pretty.
It's up and running right now. I've run it. I've used it myself. I have seen the results. I'm blown away that, you know, the data we get is the individual's first and last name. More often than not, I see not one, but 2 email addresses come in to the data, up to 2 phone numbers. And we're going to get phone verification coming very soon. So those will be even more powerful than they already are. And then also is it a mailing address, John? Is it?
Yes. Physical
so the mailing address. So you know where that person resides. And the other amazing thing, I like to go a little bit deeper in the detail. You are fantastic at the high end, and you're good at the low end too. But now that you've laid that out, everyone kind of gets an idea. You can use this tool to search. And right now it's United States only. It's nationwide. Does that US only, or is Canada involved as well?
Yeah, no, US leads only. Yeah.
Okay. and that's plenty, by the way, for everyone here. And
Yeah, there's a few.
just a few. You can also search, you can narrow it down by state or states, plural. And you can also, if you wish, go all the way down to the zip code level, where you would just put in as many zip codes that surround the area of which you are looking for. So you can do demographic type searches that way. If you have a brick and mortar, if you have, say, a place where people are coming in for hardware, and you want them to come to your store, whatever that happens to be, you can have this thing fine-tuned to come exactly where you are. If you have an online service, well, of course, nationwide makes most sense, unless, let's say, I mean, I'm going to go through all these things, John. It's like, what if you have a high ticket item? Well, go do some Google searches and find out the most affluent zip codes in America, and then hit those. The sky's the limit with this thing, and I'm barely scratching the surface, but I don't want to get too techie or geeky. But the greatest thing, though, is that question I had way back 15 years ago has finally, at long last, been answered. And when we talk about secondary search, another question we get is, yeah, but how many search engines can there be? How many websites are possible to be monitored all this time with this incredible tool? There can't be that many, can there? There's only like 4 or 5 major search engines. So how many secondary ones are there?
There's millions of them. Millions. You know, you hear terms like from Google, you hear a narrative. Google will say, yeah, we cover 90% of search across the internet. Well, no, they don't. They cover 90% of search between the top 3 search engines. But those search boxes across the internet collectively, they're huge. They don't even scratch the surface of what is out there in secondary search. So there's a lot. And here's, coming back to the story of me announcing I'm going out of SEO and freaking people out. The reason I did that, there was a particular point in time where it was clear to me that I was done with SEO. And it was the morning after I ran my first campaign using this technology. The programmers got together a rudimentary control panel for me to test. And I had been paying for SEO traffic. Me, imagine that. I'm paying for SEO traffic, and I was paying $18 per click. Whew. And I was paying it for SEO software keywords because I had an SEO software that I had created, and it's been running it's still running today, and it's still effective for SEO. But I was trying to get more customers to buy the software. So I'm paying $18 a click, going the easy way, not doing the SEO myself. I'm just buying it, just doing it the easy way. And it would take me roughly 40 to 50 clicks before I got a lead.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot of money per lead. That's a lot. So I don't know what the math is on that, but that's hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Hundreds of dollars before I was getting a lead. So I set up this campaign, and I thought I'd be doing good if I could get maybe 10 a day, but I set it up and I set it to unlimited. I said, just give me all you got, right? Very bold. And then I went to sleep, laid my head on the pillow. And when I woke up, I was like in a state of disbelief. I had almost 700 leads by the time I woke up. And the price of these leads, if you go through the prospector, they're what, like $2.50 a piece?
$2.49, yeah.
$2.49, under $2.50 a lead. And here, instead of paying $18 a click, I'm getting leads. 700 of them for $2.49. Like, I knew right then and there, why in the world would I charge someone for SEO when I can just tell them who is looking for them for $2.50? All you can eat buffet. Like, I'd be nuts. I would not be doing a good service to my clients if I kept up knowing that.
Oh my gosh. We have a great question that came in from Ted. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong.
I've known Ted for many, many years.
Oh, good. He asked, are the secondary searches within the last 30 days?
The secondary searches are within the last 30 seconds, Ted. These are like right now. These are in real time. You're literally getting the contact information from this person while they're still online. They've run the search. They're looking at content. After they've looked at 2 pieces, that email is on your Google Sheet. That's how we deliver the leads. We deliver the leads right to a Google Sheet. Now, the cool thing is it doesn't matter what CRM that you use. CRM is like your data management system. It's how you contact your customers and keep their data and all that. So it goes into this Google Sheet. No matter what CRM you're using, you can use Zapier to send that lead right into your system, so your system can send out an instant follow-up email. So they could literally receive this email while they're looking at content. So that's pretty effective marketing right there. It's like they might not be interested after dinner. They might not be interested tomorrow morning. They're interested right now. And that's what made SEO so good. It's like putting a buyer and a seller together in real time. It's like online dating service. It's the ultimate for business owners.
Yeah, people buy when their emotions are the highest, and these are as emotionally charged as you could find anyone, because they are actively looking, not only looking for it, but like John said, 2 more actions that were in alignment with that very search. And then, so what about the legalities here? We've got a lead that is pulled from some kind of database you mentioned that is paid for on the spot. What are our limitations when it comes to reaching out and chatting with them, contacting them, emailing them, that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So there really are no limitations for email as long as you abide by the CAN-SPAM Act, which says simply you can email anyone for any purpose, legally, of course, as long as you give them a way to opt out. If they say no, you do not contact them again. That's the basic guidelines of the CAN-SPAM Act. So we are going a step further than that. We're only giving you leads of people that have opted in to receive marketing materials. So we've gone above and beyond. We're not just giving you anyone that breathes, anyone that's looking for this stuff. We're also verifying that they have agreed to receive marketing materials on top of that. That's why we go, and that's why we purchase the data from a big data source. So we've gone above and beyond the compliancy. Now, that said, you should always do your own research. We're not offering legal advice here, and anything can change at any given time. So that's up to you. But as far as the system is 100% compliant. It's generating leads. What you do with the leads after that is completely up to you. That's where you could have a compliance issue. Like there's a lot of new rules coming out about who you can and cannot call and text. Mm-hmm. So we recommend you do email, then get them to opt in to receive texts and calls and all that. That's the proper way to do it. And we just recently found a new way to use these leads that you don't even have to email them. You don't have to call them. You don't have to text them. You can convert them through Facebook ads. And that is just a mind-blowing thing that we just discovered. The thing with Facebook is it takes you about $100,000 of ad spend for Facebook's algorithm to figure out how to sell your product. And if you don't do that, it'll never figure it out, and you'll just blow money over and over and over. Most people will stop before they hit that, so they'll fall short. They'll never get to the gold. With this, you can buy about 1,000 leads through our system, and you can put that into what's called a lookalike audience inside Facebook. And that is all Facebook's algorithm needs to figure it out without spending $100,000 to do it. You're basically feeding it its own algorithm. You're saying, this is my 1 in a million. Here is 1,000 instances of my 1 in a million person. Give me 1 million of them. So it'll take those 1,000 people, it will cross-reference them, and it's very sophisticated algorithm to find out what are the common threads. And then it goes out into its massive network and it will display your ad to everyone that has that same common thread, and it converts like gangbusters. It's like I could go into the case study, blew my mind that we went through this morning.
Yeah, I would love. Please do like the initial numbers, if you wouldn't. What they,
Yeah,
comparison of what they were doing and what they achieved.
So their initial numbers was in Facebook, it was costing them, I think it was $18 per customer acquisition through Facebook ads. That is, by the way, that is really low. This is a company that has been doing this for a long time, and they got it down to like $18 to acquire a customer. When they used this, what I just said, they used a lookalike audience using our leads. They took their customer acquisition costs down to about $3. So it was crazy. And they're selling medical supplies to diabetics, right? That's their market. So they're sending these people right to a commerce site to make purchases. Their average ticket is about a $300 sale. So they were piping about, their first test was $300 in ad spend, and they made about 30 grand in sales. It was crazy. And then they did 400, and they did 40 grand in sales. And then they did 500, and they did 50 grand in sales. This week they're running, I think, $700 in ad spend this week, and they're on target to hit 70,000 in sales. And they are just doing backflips right now. They're so happy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And all rules to the FTC, I will throw out there that is not a common result. Results vary. It's not something, I'm not throwing this out as a promise or any kind of a claim, but that is one customer, and that is what they got using their system. Now, granted, they already had ads in place that were already converting. They knew their numbers. They just know that this kicked butt on anything they'd ever done before. And that's saying something for somebody that's been through the whole process of figuring it out. They had their sword as sharp as they could get it. And we came in and just lit it on fire.
And that's important to reiterate that, it's one thing to get leads, but if you're not ready for those leads, then you really don't want to embark on something like this yet. You want to go through John's ACT system and specifically go through the analysis and creation part of it, and then prove that you have a converting offer before, so what does that mean? That means the marketplace wants what you have to offer at your price point, and that you've given them results. It's run the course. It's actually proven itself worthy. And once that's in place, then you can just, open the barn doors and throw the leads at them, as many as you can handle. I don't know about everyone's fulfillment's different. So be careful. Don't fall asleep like someone else who turned his on and will woke up later. But this is good for, it's good for lead gen companies. It's good for Facebook ads. A little birdie told me LinkedIn is in the near future as far as pulling data from there. I don't know the details behind that. I'm not asking for it right here, but this thing is just started. It's a pioneering technology. It is amazing. It's going to change lives like I've never seen before. I've stopped everything I'm doing, John, save this show. This show I keep doing. All my other activities, they've been put on a side burner. Been building systems, because the system you guys have devised that you properly stated, I branded as Peak Prospector. My system includes the backend CRM. It includes your first campaign's worth of emails done for you. Your cold emails, 27 of them. We found this out by one of the people you guys interviewed, John. She said on the 27th email she got a sale. I said, that's a good number. It's an odd number. It'll raise some eyebrows. Why 27? And then we also include 10 warm emails. So there's cold and warm. These are technically cold leads. They are steaming hot logically because their emotion is at its height. But when you get under the covers in the technology arena, they are technically still cold emails because your email has not talked to their email yet, most likely. And so I've already cracked that nut. I learned a lot in a very short period of time through workshops and other things about cold email. I knew the basics, and now we've got it dialed in. I was just telling John earlier, we're getting a 100% deliverability rate for all the valid emails. And when I say that, I'm telling you, maybe 1% of the emails that we're getting from this system are only 1% are not good. That's it. I've never, ever seen anything produce such high quality information. Never 1%. It's always, so every lead or every email address that has been valid, that's come through our system, through my client system, others who are using Peak Prospector, every single one of them is getting to the inbox. It's unbelievable. It's phenomenal. And so that just says a lot about, they are not old stale leads. They are real-time leads. And here's the other, John, I could go on forever. I know you could too. But one of the pieces of data that comes in along with all of their contact information is literally what they searched on, the phrase. And so we take that in the Peak Prospector system, and we literally drop that in the subject line of the first 3 emails that we send them, up to 3 in the beginning. Say, hey, quick question, John, regarding your recent search on SEO software. And they'll go, what the hell? You're reading my mind, like John said. What do you think about? That's why the open rates are pretty darn good too. And this is cold email. And so it's a phenomenal system. But just be sure that you have a converting offer, an offer that converts, that the marketplace is looking for. Make sure you've got that already going. And if you don't, and if you're not there yet, I cannot tell you with more emphasis to go and get enrolled in John's ACT program. That will take you to that promised land where you'll then be able to. Do you do hot seat moments, John? I haven't been to your things enough.
Every week, it's available.
So we
don't do them every week, but it's open.
Yeah, so you'll analyze whether or not it's a viable product from your point of view, having all your years of marketing expertise and SEO and everything. So yeah, I would start with ACT, and I mean, come on, $500 to get started, less than $500. And then $30 a month after that. Sheesh, probably spend more than that on coffee. It's just like John always does. He makes it so affordable. We've gone over time, I just noticed. If you're cool, John, can we go just a little bit longer?
Yeah, that's no problem.
If you have time, because I'm not kidding you or anybody that's on here right now. I never purposely allow it to go over time. I just looked. I knew we were getting close. And I thought, man, this has to be pulled out some more. The Facebook thing is phenomenal. The leads are incredible. Is there anything you can share that's coming down the pike that is not yet fully implemented, but is being worked on, and it's going to be something that will be added to the mix? Is it something you can share? If not, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on a way to get vetted phone numbers that are opted in for calling. Now, there's a lot of rules and regulations changing right now around phone numbers. So I don't know if we're actually going to be able to pull it off, but we're going to give it a shot. And if not, though, we're going to come up with some templates of ways that you can get around that by emailing them and getting them to opt into you to receive those phone calls. So that's going to be in the mix. Also, you had mentioned the LinkedIn. The reason that the part about LinkedIn is being able to pull additional data for your leads. And the additional data would come out of LinkedIn to tell what position they hold, what company they're with, all that kind of stuff. Maybe even annual income of the company, that kind of stuff, to further qualify them. And then another one, we're going to be offering what's called a premium level lead. And a premium level lead will have more demographics information. It's mostly going to be for high ticket stuff like real estate, solar companies, things like that. So what we'll be able to do is tell you if this is a homeowner. Because if it's a homeowner, you're going to want to sell them different stuff than if it's not a homeowner. And if it's a homeowner, how long have they owned the home? If you're a realtor, that information's like gold. So how long they've owned the home, possibly annual income. We cannot run their credit rating, but they're classified in credit score classifications. So we'd be able to tell you if they're qualified.
Wow. That's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and that'll be a premium lead. It'll cost a little bit more, but it'll be well worth it.
I don't know if you know this person. They have a similar last name as you do. I like
Brian,
that.
yeah,
I like his first name a lot. So Brian Limbacher.
he's out in Texas.
Yes. He's a very
That's my
cool
cousin.
Oh, cousin. Wow. Says
Yeah.
very cool stuff listening while driving home from Houston for our listening
Awesome.
folks there to get in. Wow, premium. So solar. Oh my gosh. We both know someone personally who has a customer who is a solar company. And at this moment, their primary method of marketing is literally door knocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they would use satellite imagery to determine whether or not they had solar on their roof or not. And then I guess if they didn't, they would go knock, or if they did, maybe ascertain the age and say, hey, you want an upgrade? But they did that. And this would be absolutely killer for that whole solution because
Yeah. How would you like to know which doors to knock on?
exactly. and why even go to that when you have a vetted phone number to call potentially. And that's the other thing again about you, John, your integrity, you just ooze with it because you said, I don't even know if we're going to be able to pull this off, but we're going to give it a go. And that's how you've done this from the get-go. And that's what I think every business owner should model is your level of transparency. You are honest. You are a good person. And I feel like I'm Mr. Rogers' neighborhood here, but you are a great guy. And I just hope more people will really follow your lead. You're a great person to follow, to model. And I hope more people end up, I've not once ever felt that sense about you where you were about money. Even your nice looking Mustang, it was gorgeous, but it wasn't like gaudy gorgeous. It was just everything. Everything is awesome. So I appreciate you. You have a wonderful home, a wonderful wife who is your business partner, it sounds like, and a lot of stuff you're doing. You're just an amazing dude. So yeah, it's almost a bromance brewing here, isn't it? The way I'm talking. So anything else you want to point out that comes to mind?
I think, what you pointed out as far as the ACT marketing protocol, if you guys are just getting started out or you're struggling in business, that's a really good place to start. If you don't have a good foundation, doesn't matter how much money you throw at ads, they're not going to convert. So getting yourself on solid ground before you start paying for traffic is a key component. And failing fast. If you're going to fail, the ACT program is going to show you right up front if you're going to fail. You'll be able to figure it out in a matter of seconds, not months and years. So fail fast and then get on to something good.
I love it. Now I've been scrolling along the bottom. I haven't said it verbally, but we've got a good number of people watching live. And this, I like to give away a wonderful prize for those who watch live and stay to the end. And so we're pretty much at that point. Before we do that though, John, I have one final question I'm going to ask of you. And it's a really awesome one. It is a barn burner. It is, I did it kind of ad hoc here and there during the first year or so of this show. We've been going for a little over 5 years. And I started realizing, wow, these answers, they're so profound. So I began ending every show with that very question now. And the other cool thing is, depending on how long your answer is, you may not want to make it just 1 or 2 sentences. I'm just kind of leading you on this a little bit because I am going to be putting together a collaborative book. By the title of the book will be the very question that I'm going to ask you. And then all of your answers will be inside of it. It's a profound question. Everyone I've talked to after they know what the question is, like, oh, that's a great idea. It's like, all right, good. So, but my first book is coming out. It's called Mind Body Business. I just got an email from the editor today saying it's done. Give us your final okay. I'm like, yes, it's been over 10 years in the making. So I can't wait. So once that one's out, then I'm going to be working on the collaborative, and you get the choice whether or not you wish to be part of that, John. So before I ask you this very profound question, though, everyone who is here, please write this down. Don't go to it right now, the website, to enter to win. Do it after the show's over so you can listen very intently to John's answer. I don't want you to miss that. So write this down. Visit it after we sign off. We'll be monitoring. Don't worry. We'll see every one of you that come in. I can't wait to see who wins. To enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort, you want to go to the website that you now see on your screen. This is, again, only for people who are watching us live, and we know who you are. We have John's technology under the hood. Well, maybe not for this show, but hey, you want to go to the URL you see on the screen, ryp.im/vacation, all lowercase. All you do is enter to win. We will choose one lucky winner by random draw, and that lucky winner will be notified because we will have your email address. It asks for your phone number solely so we can text you to ensure that you got the email that said you're the winner. So just in case it doesn't land in your inbox, which more often than not, it is occurring more and more these days. So ryp.im/vacation, write that down. And then as soon as we say so long for the evening, go ahead and go in there and enter that information. And just as a side, it's a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. I know I'm talking fast. I want to get this done out of respect for John and everyone here, but it is something you do not want to miss or take lightly. It is an amazing vacation stay. Resorts from all over the world, you get to choose. You just pay for your travel to and from, and I think resort fees, but the entire cost of your stay is covered. It's amazing. I have a personal friend who's been on this 2, maybe 3 times. He said every time he's treated no different than as if he were an actual guest that paid full amount. In other words, you weren't taken to the basement and, strapped to a chair and given water drip torture so you would buy a timeshare. It has nothing to do with that stuff at all. It is everything as glorious as it sounds. So be sure to enter to win that. And so this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the end. And oh my gosh, John, real quick, besides your website, which is internetdominators.com. What is a great way for folks to get in touch with you before I ask this final incredible question?
Well, probably by email is the best way. It's john@internetdominators.com. JOHN.
Love it. Let me see. We don't have that one loaded. We do have a Facebook there, though. John Limbacher, facebook.com/John Limbacher is another way.
Yeah.
So you can direct message him that way as well. Yeah, I don't have the email loaded. I'll have to get on the team about that. I'm just kidding. They're awesome. All right.
If you guys want a freebie, should we give them a freebie?
Absolutely.
So we're talking about books. Well, I wrote a book on AI about 4 years ago. Like before people were talking about AI. I was in it as early as I was in SEO before we even knew what to call it. So I wrote a book 4 years ago about AI technologies for use in business, how to marketing automation your business using AI. And I've updated it recently to a whole bunch of new stuff in there.
Ooh.
So that might be something that you guys might be interested in. And you can find that on my website, internetdominators.com/AI book.
All right. I'm going to pull it up so folks that are watching can see it.
So if you go /AI book, that will take you to download the book.
Oh my. There you go. Internetdominators.com/AI book. No hyphens, all lowercase. And it takes you right to it. You can click and download like I am about to do now. And like the very astute marketer that he is, well, I won't do that while everyone's watching. I got rid of he's capturing our information so that we are now on his list. So that is exactly what you want to do. It's the very same thing. I don't mind if people see that. Yes. And yes, this is John. Give it to me. So that's on its way through. I can download it right here. I'm going to leave that up for when we sign off and get the rest of that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, and by the way, I didn't mention, I hope you wrote down that URL for vacation stay giveaway. Guests are allowed to enter too, and I have had guests win before. So ryp.im/vacation. John, hint, hint, wink, wink. All right.
All right.
It is a random draw, so don't worry, everyone. He's not getting special treatment. And this question that we'll finalize the show with, John, is very profound. And the cool thing, there's 2 cool things about it. One is there's no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist. I mean, it's not even a quiz. It's not a test. In fact, the other cool thing of it is the exact opposite, is that the only correct answer will be yours because it will be unique to you. And that includes whether it takes you a microsecond or a multitude of seconds to ponder and come up with the answer. That too is 100% perfect because it's your answer. So with all that wonderful buildup, are you ready?
I can't wait.
All right, here we go. John Limbacher, how do you define success?
Oh, that's an easy one. It comes down to freedom, 100%. That's my core. And when I say freedom, freedom to me means not only the time to do whatever you want with whoever you want to do it with, but the money to not worry about what it's going to cost. It's never about just time or money. It's both. And that's freedom. To me, that's what drives me. That's what's driven me since day one. I got that from my father. A little quick story here. He bought me a model airplane kit. I don't remember how old I was, but probably somewhere between 6 and 8. And we built that model airplane together. And I thought that was just the coolest experience. And then I asked him, I said, could we get another one? As soon as we were done, I wanted another one, you know? And he said, you can have all you want, but they cost money. You just have to figure out how to get it.
Ooh.
And that's all it took. I mean, that lit me on fire. The freedom to have whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted it. All it took was money. Oh, that was a no-brainer. I had to figure that out right away. And, you know, there was another thing he told me very shortly after that. We were in our little boat going through Newport. And for the first time, I noticed all these big, beautiful yachts. And I asked him, I said, why don't we have one of those? And he looked at me and he said, because I have a job.
Ooh.
And I was like, what? Those people don't have jobs? And he said, nope, they have businesses. So I've never worked a day in my life for anyone. I've always been able to get whatever I wanted. And I've never had a job to do it. And that's freedom. And I've lived it since he instilled that in me at 6 or 8 years old. So there's your answer.
Wow. And what one hell of an answer that was, because
That's not only the answer, it's where it came from and
Yes.
what made me who I am today.
unbelievable.
And I have one of those yachts that I was looking at asking him about now.
And you're looking for another one near me in Florida, I know. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, you know, you just by the way you go about your life and what you do is a lesson in its own right, because you were telling me, is it okay if I share behind the boat you're about to buy?
Sure.
So he's looking for a boat here in Florida. I live in Florida. He's in California. I used to be in California. I always say we escaped. So we live in Florida, and John is now looking to purchase a boat here, another yacht, I'm assuming, a good sized one. But not just to sit in a harbor waiting for him to visit and then go take it out on a joyride every now and then. No. It's for him to basically lease out for 10 months of the year. Then it'll be in maintenance for 1 month, and that leaves 1 month for him to go enjoy it. And so he's using his joyride as an asset. And that's how the wealthy people think. And that's, you know, one of the things you can learn from this gentleman just by being around him. You just like, wow, okay, that makes total sense. So everything you look at, don't look at it just as a new shiny toy. Like that model, how could you build that model and make money from it? You know, build one, sell it. You know, for more than you paid the parts, the glue and the paint would be one option. But yeah, it's another lesson. And so John lives, that's the other thing about you, John. You aren't just talking the talk, you are constantly walking the walk. And I appreciate you, brother. And thank you for gracing this stage with us here this evening. This might be the longest show I've ever run. I'm not kidding. And it's all for a good reason. And you're the reason, John. So thank you so much, buddy.
Cool. I'm happy to be here, and great to be on with you again.
You too. And if possible, if I can squeeze a few more minutes right after we sign off, I'd love to do that. And it's just debrief stuff. Not a big deal.
Yeah. No worries.
All right. Well, on behalf of the amazing, the one and only John Limbacher, Hard act to follow whoever's coming up next week. Woo, baby. I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. And until we do meet again next week, everyone, please do two things. Two things is all we ask. Number one is go out and continue to crush it in your business. Why? Because when you do that, you are inherently serving more people. And number two, above all else and beyond, everyone, to a person, please be blessed. That is it for us. Have a great one. We'll see you again next time. So long for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com.